Watch out, the food hunters are coming. When Alexis Gertz is out and about on her bike in Berlin, she finds food right at the side of the road.
It's free food. It's delicious. In my opinion, it tastes better than what you find in the supermarkets. It's a lot more spicy, a lot more flavorful. It's not wrapped in plastic. It's not wrapped in styrofoam. Of course, it's here on the streets. We're going to wash it. We're looking around, you know. This is urban foraging.
Urban foraging. Finding food growing wild in the city. More and more city dwellers are acquiring a taste for it. Whether in Berlin or Brighton, Christian Amis rarely goes grocery shopping anymore. He finds the fresh ingredients for his meals on street corners and in cracks in the concrete.
People think I'm a weirdo. Or some people will approach me and say, "What the hell are you doing?" And most of them can't believe that I'd eat it.
Christian Amis is a modern forager. He finds what he's looking for in Brighton, the coastal city in southern England. At first glance, it's not exactly the Garden of Eden. Christian has promised his parents a fancy dinner, so now he's looking for ingredients here on the beach boardwalk.
Rock samphire is a type of carrot. It's got a kind of fennelly flavour to it. You can farm rock samphire, but it's very difficult and it costs money and it's not natural. So it's actually much tastier when it's grown in its natural environment, when it's absorbed all those lovely nutrients, the sea air.
Wild vegetables, herbs or mushrooms. Christian finds them all in places where most people would never expect to find anything edible.
I like to urban forage here because it's on my doorstep. It's my city, it's where I come from. And what's more fun than getting free food where you live?
Brighton is home to just under 300,000 people. It's also a favourite seaside holiday destination for many in England. For Christian, the city is like a big pantry that holds nearly all of his daily nutritional needs.
When I look down, I see food. I have quite a good memory, but when I'm walking down the street, my mind will automatically focus on the plants, and it'll always be looking for things that we can eat.
Christian knows exactly where to find edible treasures, even the ones sometimes hidden next to trash cans.
And obviously, I might look to see how dirty it is. Some places might be too dirty in the city to forage, and that's totally your decision, whatever you feel comfortable eating. But I kind of look for stuff that's in abundance and looks really healthy. And then once I find a few key ingredients, then I can work out what I'm going to cook from that.
The 42-year-old believes that once others discover the bounty of fresh food growing wild throughout the city, they too will try it out.
I like to be self-sufficient. I don't like to rely on other people. I don't like to rely on the supermarket. We don't want to have to rely on where we get our food. It's nice to know where it comes from, and if you can choose where it comes from, see how it's grown, then I think it's a lot more enjoyable and a lot more rewarding.
Christian now spends only a few pounds a week on groceries from the supermarket, mainly for staples like butter and flour.
Yeah, we've got quite a little haul now, so I'll probably sting myself, but we've got our lovely nettles, we've got some three-cornered leeks, wild marjoram, wild fennel, that lovely pineapple weed. We've got some dandelion heads, elderflowers, this is a dog rose, so we've got a nice selection of flowers already.
For the last ingredient, he heads to the outskirts of town. Here, Christian hopes to find a special mushroom.
We know that we found mushrooms here before, so I'm quite excited, yeah. But this tree here looks like it's got something going on. We've got a few here. So we've got these little guys here. We've got some younger ones here, and we've got some really beautiful ones just inside here. I'm going to climb up and get these ones.
A sulphur polypore, also known as chicken of the woods.
Oh my God, there's more up here. And that's growing inside the tree. When you find a mushroom like this, you get a little serotonin release, and it is like finding a gold nugget.
But what exactly will Christian make with his find? Foraging for wild food in the city has become a global phenomenon. In Berlin, Alexis Goertz is one of the pioneers of the movement. For breakfast, she serves sourdough bread made from acorn flour with pickled evening primrose capers and wild garlic kimchi.
Practically everything here is foraged, including I have some in the wild capers, some pink pepper that I get on my travels. So when I go traveling, I'm also foraging things that are just growing in the wild. Lots of people bring keychains and other souvenirs back, but I end up bringing salt and other kind of wild things that I collect on the way to bring the flavors with me from the countries that I visit.
The Canadian has been living in Berlin for over 10 years. She has a passion for fermentation. The centuries-old technique of preservation is currently experiencing a revival, a technique Alexis puts to use with the food she forages.
In a way, fermented foods are kind of pre-digested. It doesn't sound so sexy, but that's what they are. They're pre-digested foods. They're external stomachs that have opened up all of the nutrients and minerals that we need to get. And when we eat them, it's just like absorb all those minerals and nutrients, and we get them right away. It's like fast, efficient energy right to our bodies, and it tastes delicious.
For the 33-year-old, no trip in the city is wasted. When she's on her way through Berlin, she nearly always finds something edible on the side of the road.
Berlin's fantastic for foraging because we have so many giant green spaces, and the diversity here is immense. Not only the people, but also the nature. This is the mullein, and the flowers you can eat in a salad, you can put them in a tea.
In 2012, Alexis founded Edible Alchemy. Here she wants to rediscover food. Everything she collects in the city, she preserves here through fermentation. Alexis wants to make people aware of the health benefits of microorganisms. Her first task in the morning is to feed her sourdough starter with flour and water so that she can bake fresh bread every day.
And this is kind of my experimentation ground. This is where I play and I experiment and I research and about fermentation, about plants, combining these two. And right now I'm feeding my sourdough, Cornelius. He's 158, will be 159 in November. And he needs pretty much, every day a little bit of care, some feeding.
For Alexis, health is the priority. Fermentation not only makes food last longer, but also makes it more digestible. And in her opinion, tastier. Today she wants to ferment cucumbers with oak leaves that she foraged.
When we're using a salt water, the microbes and the yeasts and bacteria that are on these vegetables naturally will transform the pickles to be sour. Depending on what process you're doing, fermentation is not complicated. It's actually as simple as adding a salt water to the vegetables and waiting. I'm just going to cover it with some oak leaves to keep it under the air. Already smells good. Close it up and we wait minimum 5 days.
These cucumbers have been pickling for 2 years.
It smells amazing. And here's a nice old pickle with dill and a spicy pepper. Let's see. Still a great consistency.
Time for a taste test.
Got a good spice. I put a chili pepper in there. Possibilities are endless. When I was 18, I moved to Mozambique, and I lived in a community which didn't have any electricity, which means we also had no fridges. And part of the way that we preserved our food was salting it or drying it with salt and fermenting it. And that's when I consciously, for the first time, really understood what fermentation was, and that it made the foods that we had taste better and they were more digestible. And I kind of became addicted to them.
Back in Brighton, Christian wants to surprise his parents with the promised dinner.
Hey, Mum. You all right?
He foraged almost all the ingredients himself today.
You had a good day? Yeah, thanks.
It's something he enjoys doing, and if he can make a living out of it, then that's great. Yeah, and it's free food, isn't it? You know, these days, that can't be a bad thing.
Christian is a whiz in the kitchen. In his early 20s, he lived in France for a few years. He learned to cook on the southern Atlantic coast in the seafood restaurants of Biarritz.
I was trained to know what flavours work together, which flavours balanced each other out. So when I find a new flavour, when I'm out foraging and I taste it, I'm already thinking about how I can incorporate it into a dish or just incorporate it into my diet.
He worked in Michelin-starred restaurants in London for almost 10 years. But the pressure and standards of the high-end cuisine were too much for him. When the coronavirus pandemic hit, Christian lost his job. Now he is venturing a new start as an urban forager.
It's definitely a lot different. So I really enjoyed working in kitchens, but it was a lot of hard work. Not very good for my health. I do miss the cooking, you know. I really enjoy coming up with dishes and creating dishes, which is why I spend a lot of my time creating wild food dishes, because I can still do the cooking, but just in a different environment.
The only items on the menu that were bought from the supermarket are the pasta and cream.
Here you go. So it's chicken of the woods with some noodles. We've got nettles in there. It's finished with some wild fennel and some Alexander. Cheers, guys.
For his parents, it's something altogether new.
Finally for summer.
I haven't had the rock samphire done like that. I've had it in a salad before, but I haven't had it sautéed in a sauce like that before. So, yeah, that was a revelation. That was really nice.
The chicken in the woods is something else. It's crispier than meat, that's what I would say. It's really nice.
Alexis, too, wants to get people excited about foraging and fermenting. She has more than 200,000 followers on Instagram, and she gives workshops in Berlin. As a welcome drink, homemade sea buckthorn lemonade.
So cheers, welcome here, schön. We have 52 weeks in a year, and if we look at the calendar year, we have 1 to 52. There's something in nature to forage every week. And on this walk today, we're gonna check out season 27. We're gonna see what's out there. Next week, if we go on the same walk, I'm gonna show you completely different plants, because plants are doing things really, really fast. We're gonna go this way.
On her herb walks, Alexis wants to give participants a different perspective on the city. Her aim is to encourage a conscious and fear-free approach to nature.
So I'm gonna dig it up.
Many are surprised at how much is edible.
Literally clove root. But you can eat one or two. Very sour.
You can eat one, all right.
Yeah.
Do it.
They're sour and bitter.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Woo! There's a lot of flavor. Yeah, now you know. Well, nature offers a lot, right?
That's hardcore.
I mean, a lot of things we think are poisonous, but in the end, there's so much edible stuff out there. People in the past, they were making marmalades and jams out of this, right? Just a little bit of
It
sugar.
does taste kind of like marmalade.
Yeah. And it has a
Alexis' message: wild food is out there for everyone. But the city is not a self-service store. There are rules for foraging too.
Pick what you need. Yeah, and pick mindfully. So maybe not, if you're gonna pick leaves from a tree, pick individually and don't strip the whole branch, because you have to imagine that every leaf wants to eventually become a branch itself. So if you pick mindfully, then you can allow life to happen again and again.
The question everyone asks upon their return, what exactly does Alexis do with the wild herbs she has collected? Quite a lot. They get used as a fresh garnish, a fermented spread, or baked into bread.
Okay, here we go.
Get ready. Tastes like cyanide.
That's the first thing you notice. It's all fresh, natural. Got a real vibrancy about it. Brilliant.
Oh, are these going in here as well?
That goes, yeah, in and on.
This is dandelion here.
That's the dandelion capers, yeah. The buds.
Wow.
The supermarket is limiting what we eat, and that's what I want to show people, is there's so much more out there that is not on the regular market. We've limited ourselves, and I want people to expand their diets, expand their palates, expand their minds. Overall, it's good. Diversity is key.
The coast and beaches of Brighton. This is where Christian first foraged as a little boy.
It all started down here, actually. I would come down here on the weekends with my family. My dad would have me in all the holes and rock pools down here, and we'd look for prawns and crabs, and sometimes we'd find lobsters. And for me, it was just such a good feeling to find some wild food on the beach.
Back then, he enjoyed barbecuing crab at home. Today, it is more important to him to harvest sustainably and create new culinary experiences along the way.
So this seaweed here is sea spaghetti. Now, question that I get asked the most is which seaweeds are edible? And the good news is all seaweeds are edible. You can give the seaweed a haircut.
Christian is motivated by the variety of food he finds. Like a treasure hunt, he never knows exactly what will end up on his plate.
I'm not getting bored yet. Never say never, but I'm still enjoying it. And you can just get the taste of a £100 truffle in your mouth from eating one tiny little piece of seaweed. And that's the kind of thing that gets me going.
Stanmer Park, northeast of Brighton. This is where Christian has set up his base. An open-air kitchen to inspire others to take up foraging. Here he processes whatever wild plants he finds in the city, and he is a wealth of knowledge for those who want to follow in his footsteps.
Yeah, it's always nice to meet. It's always nice to meet fellow foragers. Bye. It's natural for me to go out and eat food that's around me. It's not actually natural for me to go and eat food that's been processed and created in a factory. So I see it as my God-given right to go out there and eat the nature.
Wild garlic is in season, which means it's time for one of his specialities.
These are wild garlic seeds. We pick them from the wild garlic plant at the end of the wild garlic season. And these little seed pods, you can turn into forage capers, basically.
Real capers actually grow in the Mediterranean region. Christian prefers to use regional alternatives that you can gather locally.
Is passing on the recipe to other people so that they can make it themselves. And it's funny because once you show someone how to make it, next time they make it, they'll send you a picture and say, look, I'm doing it. And of course, I'm always a little bit proud, and it's really nice. And the texture's just amazing.
Word has spread about Christian's herbal blends in Brighton. He now supplies top restaurants and cocktail bars with his wild treasures.
Hello, mate.
Hello, Chris. How are you doing?
Bartender Julian likes making drinks with regional and seasonal ingredients, with a few surprises from Christian thrown into the mix.
I've got some of the mahonia berries that you asked for.
Thank you. Yeah, I've never tried those before, so I'm really excited.
Here you go. So they're quite, tarty and sweet. Well, they're really delicious. I've been eating a lot of them.
And this is on right.
Yeah. So,
I'll try this one first, you think?
An unusual flavour and a new ingredient for a cocktail.
It's sour.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I think these are going to be really awesome to use in a cocktail because they have that really like sour bite and loads of flavour and a little bit of bitterness as well. So they're going to be fun to play around with and see what I can come up with.
Whoa.
Sometimes he brings me so much and I'm just like, oh my goodness, we have to, because, it needs to be processed right now because the flavour is right here, right now. Funny, like Fatboy Slim quote.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think, I'm not even, the flavour is amazing. Yeah, you were right.
Julian has already come up with an idea. A gin-based cocktail creation with the flavour of mahonia berries.
What I can do is I can make like something with fennel because I have from you from last year, fennel pollen.
Oh, come on.
Radically local, Julian mainly uses gin and vodka from the region for his drinks because of the short transport distances.
Yes, actually, the bar.
Add to that Christian's wild herbs and berries, a mix that can probably only be found in Brighton.
Okay, Chris, here's a cocktail made from your mahonia berries, the fennel that you brought in, and a local Brighton gin. Thank you for bringing in the produce.
Thanks,
here's
mate.
a cocktail for you.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.
I love the block ice as well. Oh, mate, that's so good. Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, thank you.
In the evening, Alexis has friends coming over for dinner. What's on the menu is often a surprise.
You get to unwrap a present.
Oh, wow.
It's a mouldy present.
I love moldy presents.
Fermented soybeans.
That's tempeh. We're going to show you inside. It looks like a beautiful mosaic. Tempeh is really protein-rich, vegan alternative for meat.
Dinner is, as always, a mixture of wild herbs and wild fermented foods.
Every time it's a new experience, it's a new flavor. I never do the same thing twice. Because of the environment, because of the time of year, because of the air pressure, you're going to always get something different.
The anticipation of a new culinary experience. Alexa's friends appreciate her passion to experiment with food. For example, fermented goutweed sauerkraut, which tastes like truffles after 3 years.
It's inspiring the creativity of like how you play at the end with food, and you come up with things that are really nutritious but very delicious at the same time.
Imparting knowledge, inspiring others. That's what Christian wants to do too, with his own food, herb walks and cooking classes.
I'll leave that on there.
He and his brother Sebastian have founded a small startup, all about urban foraging.
There you go, that's your sumac berries in there, then bits and bobs.
Christian shows the group how versatile hogweed is.
I'm going to go and chop these in a deep fat fryer, but I'm literally going to douse the heads like that. I think we just tried to show that foraging isn't scary. It doesn't have to be difficult. Obviously, there are dangers. But if you follow some simple rules and take responsibility for your own safety, you can have a really good time, and you can do whatever you want with it, whatever makes you feel good. White wine vinegar. Here, guys, so you've got hogweed crisps, tempura hogweed shoots.
He serves it with a wild herb salad with a dressing made from chickpea water and hogweed.
We're going to give them a good dousing. So we'll pick some of this wild marjoram off. Let's strip that down.
He cooks his lentil curry with hogweed and nettles. Wild ingredients combined with Christian's fine cuisine.
It's really good, yeah. It's super fresh and like different to a normal curry, but like, I don't know, really good.
Food grown wild on the roadside. An unexpected treat for the taste buds.
I want to come up with some more recipes. I want to get healthier and healthier. Since I've started foraging, I feel better. Every year my mental health gets better. I have more energy than ever, and next year we're going bigger and better, and we're going to teach more people to forage.